Hello everyone, welcome back to my jbird, and this is game 7 of Battle of the Boxes. And I'm in white. This is called jbird's Center Queen and King Fianchetto to bot 2200. Now I did use the arrows on this one, and let's check it out. It's pretty cool, and we start out with a d3, e5, h3, d5, e3, c6, a3, e6, e2, g5, and there's that move again. And even the 2200 does it too. Once sees a weak spot and goes after it. Okay, after g5, g3, f6, d2. And there's your jbird since 1977. Now, what I've took notice too, it seems like all the bots from 1800 to 2200 are kind of really close. The hardness of it all is about equal, really. I mean, there might be a slight differences. I might see a little more weakness in the 1800 than the other ones, but typically it's just hard. It's a hard game. But no arrows taught me to do this. This opening's been since 1977. I just, the arrows are guidance, except on the higher ELOs. I got to think deeper yet in my opening to get that. But we'll get to those games. After D2, castles. B4. And like I say, I'm pushing up here. There's no threat. D6. C3. A6. And there it is. My jbird Center Queen and King Fianchetto. This is a really cool opening. Okay, after f3, h5, h4, g4, I push b5, and more likely the arrow showed that I can threaten this piece. There's no other pieces here to threaten anything. Let's see after b5, b5 takes, b5 takes, d7. I push the pawn a4, h6, a5. He goes e4, knight e up, g5. Obviously the arrow said I can go here, so there's no immediate threat. Let's go after g5, f5. Now there's a threat. He pushes that pawn. Where are you going to go? You go back here, you're going to start losing. Let's see. I go a6. And I say, okay, I'm going to push this pawn. Maybe it said here, and maybe it was going to go here and then go back here with the knight, or go with the queen, knight trade, then, something's here. But I went a6. I used that arrow. Takes a6. Takes a6. b8. a8. c6. a1. After a1, and it's funny, see now, you say, well, you're going to, well, maybe not exactly, because you can come down and start saying checks. This is pinned. Then he moves, things get worse, more checks, and then, there's a lot going on here. After a1, b7, take e4, and like I say, it's my choice of arrows which I choose. Now sometimes you get the arrow where, no, this is the only way you can go, and sometimes it's the only arrow you can take. After e4 takes, a6, b5 takes, c6 check, c7, e8 check, b7, b8 takes check, c6, and you see I'm ripping it apart, and look, everything down here staying stationary. After c6, a6 check, D7, take B5. Now, like I said, I choose this way. Arrows are probably shooting all over the place here. Maybe to take, maybe run the queen here and then trade it, or maybe, you know, there could have been other premeditated moves. Maybe run this bishop over, not bring that one up, run that one over, you know, and just start threatening way. But I choose this way. Check, B5, B5 takes, queenie takes, check. And, you know, obviously you see that it's going downhill quick. After B5 check, E7, B4 check, D7, A8 check, C8, D5 check, E8, F8 takes, F8 takes, C4, and I choose to push this pawn up. It stops from him taking that pawn. Maybe there was another move here, another arrow, or maybe a castle, but I choose to push the pawn up. After C4, H8, now I castle, G8, B1, F8, there's nothing he can do. He's pinned. After F8, B8, E7, C5, D8, takes E4 check, F8, H7, G8, takes H5, and these are my choices. After H5, H6, check, H7 check, G8, I go, and maybe it didn't tell me to go there, but I'm pretty sure it told me maybe to come out here, but I knew by sacrifice I'm going to get that knight anyway. So after F6, F6 takes H6, C5, F6 takes, F8, H5, H7, H6, G5, C8 takes, G6, F5, C8 takes, C8 takes, F6, and there again, it was my choice. Now I can take that and get a mate at the same time. After H8 check, takes H8, takes G6, F5, and G7, there's game. It's, you know, and I got shorter games where I used the arrow and I did it in 30 moves. I think some of those games would be my mortal games using the assistants, but let's look at this. And that's become standard now with the bots. They always want to threaten that pawn. You're going to see that a lot. Into my jbird since 1977. And then that's my standard, pushing those pieces up. And this I picked up now. This is a good move. I learned this off the bot. And it goes on into the jbird center, queen and king, fianchetto. And the arrow must have told me to go. I went here, take, and push this pawn. And it was probably multiple choices here, but maybe go back, threaten it here, open it, move up. I didn't want to do all that. I chose this way. And then obviously the arrow said to go up here and then push here. And this is cool. This works for me. And then even to do that, I'm like, wow, there must be a lot going on down here just to sacrifice that knight, you know. The game goes on. Takes. Sacrifice the knight to get the check, but now you get another check. Has to move, and look at that, circled right around. It's hard to see this stuff sometimes. You just can't see it, Sometimes you can see it. Sometimes you can't see it. These games, this is what I'm saying. I mean, it's like it seems like I could have done this without arrows, but it all depends on your insight. Game goes on. Because one wrong move, and the game goes the other way, and it actually might go longer than this game. Let's see how many moves this game was. I mean, I used arrows, and I did better, less moves in other games. This one seems a little bit longer, but there again, I chose what arrows to take too. So it's not like I took the very best moves. I wanted to take moves that I felt like I was playing the game. That's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing with the arrows. I mean, I could have took that rook and then check and then took that rook and had two rooks. Instead, I did it a different way. I mean, and I did it this way. This is the way I did it. And this is the game. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll have some more Battle of the Boxes coming soon.